Length is good. It's a nice fit.
Cappuccino, flat white, latte, mocha, and you push it back this way, and they sign it.
All right, and they can give me a tip, right?
It depends.
Here's the deal. I've just been spending too much money on vests lately, so for some extra dough, I'm moonlighting at Ascension Coffee Shop.
I don't know what I'm doing, but welcome aboard.
Knowing how much to tip and when to tip, it's always been a little awkward. But that moment right there,
This is the weird part where you tell me if I did a good job or not.
people are a little weirded out by digital tipping. What exactly are we supposed to do here? And it's everywhere now. We give digital tips to Uber drivers and food delivery dudes. We now tip before we even get service. I want to know, is digital tipping a good system for consumers?
Have you been here before? Now, is that important to you? You're here a lot?
That's Brian Sullivan. He studies how people interact with technology, and I've asked him to make some observations for me. He's telling me digital tips can be good for consumers because they make checkout fast, eliminate the need to carry cash, and eliminate the need for math, which people hate. But people are most motivated to tip for experiences, he says, that bring them joy.
What I was really seeing from people and hearing from the people I interviewed is they were really tipping out of brand experiences.
So it's more than just the interaction at the point of sale.
Yes, sir, much more than just at the point of sale. Love of this place, love of this coffee, love of this brand.
But what about the tech companies that make these systems? Are they trying to manipulate us?
Sometimes people feel they're being tip shamed, right, by this technology. Is that a legitimate feeling? Is that actually happening in some places?
It's a legitimate feeling, and it is happening in some places. They've got a little too greedy. Over time, what's going to happen, people are going to say, I'm tired of feeling and experiencing this.
Hey,
All right. How about the carne mista?
absolutely. So your total comes to $18.40.
All
You're
right.
going to insert your chip down facing you.
15, 18, 20. Is it weird when I'm standing here trying to decide what tip to give you and you're standing right there looking at me?
I usually walk away because it is kind of awkward.
That uncomfortable space, that's a real thing. Research from the firm Software Advice found 41% of people are more likely to increase their tip because of that awkward proximity when you're in each other's face. And research also found presenting a customer with a no-tip option actually makes it 29% more likely that they will tip. The foremost expert on tipping research is Mike Lynn at Cornell University, and since that's a long way away, he joined me via the magic of the internet.
In the current electronic systems, typically you have to actively say no tip. And there's a difference between actively saying no and simply failing to leave a tip.
And what about those choices on the screen? Mike's telling me they're designed to push you to the middle number. That's called the anchoring effect. Take the choices of 15, 18, and 20. The anchoring effect says you'll compromise on 18. In Mike's research, he found raising all the numbers up leads to more tip revenue. Instead of compromising at 18, you'll compromise at 20.
I don't want to choose the lowest because I'll look too cheap. I don't want to choose the highest because A, it's expensive, and also don't want to seem like I'm showing off. I'll choose a compromise, the middle option.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you? Good. How are y'all doing today?
So this technology can extract more money from consumers, and it's finding its way from coffee shops to more traditional sit-down restaurants.
Choose your finger to fill that out. There's an option to tip up top and then sign down below.
But some places are going the other way completely.
What's that?
We are
there?
a no tipping restaurant. It's
Like restaurant owner Mansoor Gorji. He doesn't take tips at all. The cost is added to the food, and the staff gets paid a living wage. He says manipulating customers into bigger tips does not lead to better service. In fact, what leads to better service, he says, is eliminating tips.
So he puts the burden on us because we already got it. So we better do it or
Better earn it.
better earn it.
Sometimes confused customers will ask Gorji how they can show their appreciation for great service if they can't leave a tip.
Come back. You know?
Come back.
Come back.
We'll serve you again.
Yes.
So are digital tips a good system for consumers? Well, they can be super convenient, and you can't ignore that they do put more money in the pockets of servers. But you know what? There's just not a ton of slam dunk research in this space, so I'm going to make a judgment call and say digital tipping is bad for consumers. It's yet another small but clever way for tech companies to extract more money from us than we had planned to spend in the first place. If you've got something you want verified, send me an email.